Hey everybody, Ace Channel Liam here, and today I'm continuing my series where I'm going through each of the Pokemon regions and naming my top 10 favorite Pokemon from those regions. Today we're looking at the Johto region, which is so very closely linked to Kanto that we looked at last week because they share a Pokemon League for a start, but still a very unique region in itself with a lot of very unique Pokemon to choose from. Of course, if you're enjoying this series and you're ready for more, make sure you hit the like button. Let's hit like 500 likes on this video if we can. I'd really appreciate it, and hit subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video. And as always, don't forget, use code ACE to get money off GFUEL. Today's cotton candy. Oh, and it's dead nice. You can have this one with milk as well, and it makes it even better, although I've got it with water at the moment because it's just as good. With all that out of the way, let's have a look at my top 10 Johto Pokemon. Number 10, FURRET. Now this makes the list partly for being one of the most adorable Pokemon that has ever existed. It's super duper long boy, 5 feet 11 inches of candy cane looking ferret, especially when it's in its shiny form, which was my favorite shiny Pokemon for a long time. Not the best battler, that definitely needs to be said. It's not the best in battle, but it's still an A+ Pokemon in my eyes. I love me a bit of FURRET. FURRET. You decide. Doesn't really matter. Number 9, GIRAFARIG. Now, battle-wise, I've never had much luck with GIRAFARIG. It's got kind of hints that it may be okay in battle. I mean, it gets things like Sap Sipper, but I've just never found it to be that effective. Now, maybe that's just me using it wrong because I'm not a good Pokemon battler and I don't aspire to be the best there ever was like I'm supposed to. I just want to have fun. So maybe it's my fault, but I've never really found that spark in battle with GIRAFARIG. But regardless, I absolutely love its design. It's such a simple idea, a giraffe that has psychic powers and the other half of its body is controlled by a different brain that's in its tail. It's a shame that we didn't get to see the original GIRAFARIG design that I know has been leaked online, where literally the two heads were identical except one was the dark one was the light one. That would have been really cool. Or even as an evolution to GIRAFARIG, maybe the head on its tail gets stronger or something like that and then grows into that extra head. But it's fine as it is. It's an adorable Pokemon, and you're going to hear that a lot in this list because a lot of Johto Pokemon are actually really cute. GIRAFARIG's one of them, and that certainly secures it a place in my list. Number 8, MILTANK. The pink-nippled bringer of destruction. I guess they're not nipples, I guess they're teats, but who's counting? This thing is notorious throughout the Pokemon community for being a destructive force. So many people tell tales of Whitney's MILTANK absolutely destroying them, and I was no different. I got absolutely destroyed. Now, I know some of you out there are going to be like,
well, I made sure my Pokemon had effective moves against Whitney, so I had no problem with MILTANK.
Well, some of us did, mate, so rah, you know, great, good for you. But in terms of MILTANK that I've actually raised myself, I've had a lot of fun with this Pokemon. It's got great abilities like Thick Fat or Scrappy, for example. Really handy abilities to have, especially on a Pokemon like MILTANK that is so incredibly bulky. It's nice to be able to send it out and just wreak havoc with the bulk that it has. Now, in my experience raising my own MILTANK, I've had loads of fun using this Pokemon. Now, to me, it doesn't really matter whether you use Thick Fat or Scrappy MILTANK or even Sap Sipper MILTANK. Each of those abilities is great in their own right. The way I tend to go with MILTANK, regardless of ability, is just invest everything into the defenses to make it as bulky as possible. Give it leftovers, give it milk drink, give it heal bell so you're almost completely protected against all those potential threats. You're basically not investing anything into attack, so just give it power up punch. Keep decking things with power up punch until you are at +6 attack. And even then, at that point, even a 0 invested attack MILTANK at +6 attack is pretty damn incredible. It's very much a best case scenario set, but I've had loads of fun with it in battles, and I've cleaned house in my time with a good old MILTANK, and it's a really good feeling, so I know why Whitney does it. Number 7, Octillery. Now, this Pokemon is great. It's a good special attacker. It's got a signature move, Octozooka, although that's kind of annoying because it's a move that lowers accuracy but is inaccurate in itself, and that really bothers me a little bit, so kind of ignore that one for a second. It has great abilities like Sniper, like Suction Cups, which is great if you're doing chain fishing in Gen 6, for example. But let's be real, it's mostly here because it was my first ever shiny Pokemon, so I'm always going to have a soft spot for Octillery. That dirty, snotty green looking shiny Octillery was the first shiny that ever graced my screen, and I absolutely love it. And I love this Pokemon. To be fair, it's one of the best red Pokemon there are out there, and it's a really simple but effective design. And if you know me, I love Pokemon that are simple designs but effective. It's an octopus that looks like an artillery, like tank thing, and that's exactly what it is and looks like. You can see it all from the get-go. Still looks like a Pokemon. Excellent design in my opinion. Keep it simple, but keep it effective. Octillery does that in spades. Number 6, Porygon 2. Now, the Porygon family is an interesting one, but Porygon 2 is the one that's always kind of caught my eye. I don't know whether it's just the fact that it looks like a more rounded version of regular Porygon, making it look like this cute little duck thing. Maybe it's that cuteness thing drawing me in, but also it's the one I've had the most fun with in battle and the one I've used the most often, and even was a mainstay of my team for a very long time. The fact that it's got such incredible bulk, especially with Eviolite thrown on top, and still has a killer special attack stat at the same time, this Pokemon can really do some damage. You know, whilst also being completely unstoppable. Especially when you couple it with the fact that Porygon 2 can have the download ability, which for Porygon 2 is amazing. If your opponent has lower special defense than defense, it'll raise up the special attack of Porygon 2, making it even more powerful from the get-go. And it gets recover. It can really stall people out if it wants to. Such a great Pokemon, such a great design, so many great things to say about it, and it just is so effective, so great, so cute, all wrapped into one little weird duck-looking package. Number 5, Azumarill. Another Pokemon that basically caught my eye because it's adorable. I know I keep saying cute, I know I keep saying adorable, but have you seen these Pokemon lately? I mean, Azumarill is a lore unto itself anyway, because it gets Aqua Jet, which, you know, you're like, okay, fair enough. That's cool, it gets Aqua Jet. It can get Belly Drum after breeding with my boy Poliwhirl. It can get the ability Huge Power, so suddenly Azumarill is kicking ass, taking names, cleaning house, you name it. This thing is such a cute, adorable Pokemon, but it's such a menace in battle. It's unbelievable. This thing can destroy lives. If you don't come prepared against an Azumarill, which I'm very guilty of in the past, not coming prepared against an Azumarill, you will be taken down before you can even blink. This thing is disgusting. Aqua Jet was never meant to be that powerful, but on an Azumarill with Belly Drum and Huge Power, forget about it. This thing is amazing, and its shiny is really, really pretty. Number 4, Politoed. Now, you might be thinking, oh, this is biased because it's part of the Poliwhirl family, but actually, it's not even one that I really associate with the Poliwhirl family. Like, I know it evolves from Poliwhirl with a King's Rock, but to me, it's so different in look from the Poliwhirl family that I don't really ever associate the two. Getting a Poliwhirl to evolve into Politoed just seems like a means to an end for me, because Politoed could very easily be a standalone Pokemon, and I still like it just as much. Now, Politoed always impresses me because it's surprisingly bulky for what it is. You take one look at it and you expect it to be quite fragile, but it can tank some special hits if trained in the right way, and it has a great special attack stat. On top of that, it can be a really effective drizzle provider, not unlike your dad, and it can also be part of a Perish Song trap because it's one of those lovely Pokemon that gets the Perish Song move, which is absolutely wonderful. Politoed can be absolutely fantastic if you train it right, and it's proven that time and time again for me. I've had it on an all-water type team, and it's just absolutely been imperative to the success of that team, and I absolutely love it. So Politoed, well done, mate. I may not consider you part of the main family, but you can certainly come round for tea. Number 3, Ampharos. Shout outs to one of my best friends in the world, Isla McTeer. She loves Ampharos, and I love Ampharos too. It's certainly up there as one of the best pure electric types in my book. It does so many great things, although I don't like its abilities. Like, Static's fine. Static's always a handy ability to have, but its only other ability is Plus. Yeah, great. But needless to say, apart from being a fantastic special attacker, this woolless sheep is another one of those wonderful, simple Pokemon designs that comes out looking so effective. It looks cute, but it also looks really cool at the same time. It's got a fantastic Mega Evolution. Certainly up there as one of my favorite Megas is Mega Ampharos. And just, I can't find things to dislike about Ampharos, to be honest, apart from that little issue with the abilities. On top of that, it's got a wonderful pink shiny that just works so perfectly. Of course, it's more of a callback to Flaffy, the previous evolution. It's honestly just fantastic. And that hair when it Mega Evolves, I need some of that. It's not going to stay forever. Existential crisis is beginning. Number 2, Heracross. I mean, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? And I feel really bad because I know there'll be someone in the comments that doesn't like me saying this, but I'm sorry. It's just how I feel. This thing's bloody adorable. It really is though. Like, I can't even. I don't even like bugs. I hate bugs personally. Like, just watch that episode of Psyche K when he encounters the cockroach in his freaking house and just how he freaks out. I mean, he teleports himself to Texas, spoiler alert, but that is exactly what I would do if I had the psychic powers. I hate bugs, but somehow they made Heracross, a bug Pokemon, be something that I just want to give a hug. It's so sweet. It's so cute. It's really, really, really lovely. Ignore its Mega Evolution because I just don't really like that, but oh my word, it's so great to battle with as well. Like this thing with a Choice Scarf, close combat and something, with the Moxie ability, again, I love the Moxie ability, can just absolutely clean house. I've seen people sweep with a Heracross, just spamming close combat and Mega Horn, just getting Moxie boost after Moxie boost after Moxie boost. It's a real delight to use. It's so fun. It's 4 times weak to flying, but let's ignore that. It's just wonderful. Although it does get Guts as well, so you could always use that instead of Moxie, but I would just personally use Moxie. I think this Pokemon's absolutely amazing. Great shiny as well. Another fantastic pink shiny. Just wow. Number 1, Espeon. I don't need to talk long about Espeon because you guys know how much I love Espeon. It's the most beautiful of all the evolutions. It's the greatest to look at. It's got the most fantastic emerald green shiny. And as the Pokemon games have progressed, every time we've seen Espeon's shiny, a new person has gone, you know what? I really didn't like that shiny, but it looks really good in this game. And on top of that, it's fantastic to use in battle. It's a great special attacker. It's got decent speed behind it. It's a glass cannon, but what do you expect? It gets Magic Bounce, which is such a handy ability. I mean, it can have Synchronize, but I don't really like Synchronize because you can still get the status condition, which doesn't particularly help Espeon, whereas Magic Bounce will absolutely bounce that back before it's even affected Espeon, and that is wonderful. And it protects against so many other things other than status conditions as well, because it protects against stat drops and things like that, and it's just absolutely wonderful. Love me some Espeon. It's so fun to use in battle. I've used it many, many times. I really, really like it. I can't sing this evolution's praises enough. It's my favorite evolution for a reason, and it's my favorite Johto Pokemon for all of those reasons. So that'll do it for my top 10 Johto Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. And don't forget, let me know your top 10 Johto Pokemon down in the comments below. And of course, if you want to support the channel like these lovely people here do, pledge to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/AceTrainerLiam. And use code ACE to save money on GFUEL. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.